Hello everybody, and welcome back to the news in which a local clown has escaped the zoo. We're trying to get him back so he probably doesn't hurt anyone. But enough about the clown, who isn't even in this patch note. We're talking about the November 2024 PTB patch notes. So let's get into them. First off with Hound Master. So, essentially now, completed gens will now appear into light orange for the Houndmaster. This means that when you, go to that gen, you at least know that the gen is finished. Which is funny that this killer had, a power that allowed them to see gens that were already completed. I really wish that Freddy had that. Just start, new Freddy, and then they're like, yeah, we're gonna let him teleport to all gens. But, heh. Survivors with afflicted with hound sense now appear bright red Houndmaster. This is kind of like when someone has killer instinct on them. They have that little aura thing, or when you use dredge, they have the white aura around them. Essentially, it's just going to be easier to identify if someone has it or doesn't without having to look at the HUD every 3 seconds, which is just nice baseline changes. Essentially, otherwise, search command has been increased by an entire meter, which is absolutely amazing. And the movement speed has been boosted to 6 meters per second instead of 5.2. This is basically what I think everyone wanted. Just make it so then the path, when you're following it, it just feels better. Basically, 5.2 is only a 0.6. It kind of needs to be bigger. So a 1.4, meters per second upgrade is way more of a reason to follow the path. And the detection zone to target objects has been increased, and so essentially it should be easier to aim into pallets on certain loops and stuff like that. Otherwise, the cooldown is lowered, so to 0.5 seconds instead of 5 seconds. That is insane. So that means that essentially when you get them to search, and then you're like, hey, I want you to, I believe, you can then bring them back way quicker. They do say that a lot of these things were affected by bugs, so they apologize, but at the end of the day, this is a really hard killer to program, so it shouldn't be too much of a bet. It's hard to program this kind of thing. Furthermore, the acceleration to the dog is now 3 meters better, which is nice. Chase command redirect is now longer, which is nice. It was 0.7 seconds, now it's 1. Still not at Wesker levels, but still, now it's a lot more reasonable. And now the transition camera time isn't as annoying, apparently. Which is going to be good for people who have nausea from, cameras and stuff. And, reduce the cooldown of knotted rope to 10%. That is way too much of a nerf. It should at least be 20. 40 was definitely a bit too silly. But 10 is what's the point of running it? I honestly think if they released a perk that said you recover from your hits 10% faster, people wouldn't run it. Because it's basically just yeah, you can run it with the other M1, Rapid Brutality, but they kind of just do you really want to run 2 perks just so then your M1s are slightly better? Not really. I think 20% would have been fine. And yeah, we have the last one here, which is Shoulder the Burden, which essentially now makes it so then the exposed duration is now 60 seconds. Which, is nice. It means that there's actually going to be time for you to do something. But the problem with this more so is just the fact that, I don't know, if you just run, Hardened, you can just shoulder the Burdened into Hardened into You Don't Scream, the killer doesn't know jack shit. And then you can just run, Sprint Burst and something else. There's so much you can just do with this perk that makes it just so silly. It is good that, I think they could actually buff Dead Hard with this perk being around, because it means for Swifts that they might want to have one person who doesn't have this perk, because, if you only get stacks with hooks, then it's yeah. But other than that, that's all that there is for this PTB, obviously. Jeez. As you can see from this image here, there are more changes. All of the perks seen here are pretty much just the same as they were in the PTB. So Weave Attunement will now allow the survivor to actually see the item, so then there's actually counterplay. Languid Touch is now, like, has a way better cooldown. It's now basically no cooldown. Ace in the Hole now allows you to get all add-ons and guarantees 2 add-ons every time. Plunderer's Instinct now just has better chances to get you good stuff. Don't run it if you're trying to get medkits. Pharmacy, though, if you want to get medkits, is great for it now because it always gives you a medkit. Scene Partner is just slightly better with numbers. Dominance is like doubled its get off the damn totem time. And Human Greed is still dog shit. Look at Cupcake over there, he probably made the perk. But basically, other than that, with the killers, most killers were just changed in very tiny ways, where it's like, yeah, like, here you go. Ghostface now has, like, his add-ons slightly baked into his thing. Demogorgon, same thing, except for one of his add-ons is now just gone. Cool. That's like a nerf. Lich and Good Guy had, you know, hopefully Good Guys will be substantial. It might not be. Mastermind is also, like, it's a tiny thing. Dark Lord and Lich, I think, are more apt. A lot more changes with their abilities, making some seem a little bit better, hopefully, and some, like, actually, like, you can't do the fly tech anymore, but you do get fly way more often, so it's going to be useful a lot more often, I think. And then Shape has his entire kind of mini rework, which I don't know why they only call it medium when, like, all Ghostface got was a number change saying that he gets his sneak better and he sneaks better. And then Shape has his entire power recontextualized, where it's like, okay, instead of stalking close, you stalk far, and then you have all this new stuff, and then when you do this, you do this. And it's like, nah, this is just a medium update. But yeah, hope you all have an absolutely wonderful day. Hope you are enjoying the news by daylight, and I hope we find that damn clown. See you next time.